Hi, friends. Welcome to day 12 of Sun Salutations. I'm Laren of Yellow Umbrella Yoga. Check out my site. Thanks for being here. I just want to share, since it's Saturday and the schedule is strange for a number of reasons. I have my very special farmer's market outfit on today. This shirt was a special gift from a special friend, and I think it's hilarious. So take that bit of joy, do with it what you will, and join me standing at the foot of your mat. Bear with me as I make a small adjustment first so that I may continue to have a head for our time here together. We're going to dive right in and use the sequence to warm up. One final adjustment, because we like to see. Sometimes we think we're set up and we need to adjust a little more. So observe your surroundings, see if there's anything else you need. Take a moment to wiggle your toes, feel the texture of the mat underneath you. And just settle in. Take a couple of breaths, standing tall in stillness. Connect with your breath. Just pay attention to it. That's all we really mean when we say that. And mentally prepare to start moving. Know that it's coming. Decide when you're ready. Continue to move at your pace. Inhale, hands lift, reach up high, stretch tall. Exhale, keep your knees bent as much as you'd like as you dive forward, hinging at your hips, reaching toward the floor. It's okay if your hands don't get all the way to the mat. See if you can find some softness here. I really like to bend my knees and just lay my torso on my lap. You can nod your head yes, shake your head no. Inhale to half lift. Bring your hands to your shins maybe. This is where a mirror can help as you try to find a flat, neutral spine, making this kind of number 7 with your body. Exhale, dive forward, fold again. Walk your hands away from your feet. Come down onto your knees, setting up for tabletop. Untuck your toes, stamp the tops of your feet into the mat. Stack your hips right over your knees. So notice if you're a little far forward or if you're scooched back a little far and your hips are not quite aligned, just find that neutral space. And do the same thing with your hands. Spread your handprints wide, gluing your finger pads and knuckles and palms all into the mat, right underneath both shoulders. Take a breath here. Notice how this feels. Prepare to move again. When you're ready, inhale to tip your hip points forward, stretching your belly low towards the mat. Resist that sinking with your hands. Let them be strong and sturdy beneath your shoulders, pressing the mat away as you also press the back of your head away towards the ceiling to look at the mat in front of you. This is cow pose. Keep breathing, just feeling this out. When you're ready, on an exhale, tuck your tail, round through your low back. Keep pressing the mat away with your hands. Find your Halloween cat. Tuck your chin to your chest. Find a flow. Inhale, stretch your belly towards the mat again. Find cow pose. And exhale, tuck your tail. Let the movement ripple up your spine, tucking your chin to your chest at the end. One more time. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Tuck your toes. Send your hips back. Press into both hands and feet. Hover your knees above the mat. And press your hips up. Play with downward facing dog. If the backs of your legs are tight like mine today, your heels may not come to the mat. Inhale, lift your heels towards the ceiling. Come onto your toes. Exhale, press them down towards the mat. It's okay if they don't get there. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Come into standing forward fold, bending your knees as much as necessary. There's no need for there to be any pain in the backs of maybe tight hamstrings. On an inhale, press into both feet. Stand up, roll up, arms hang heavy, one vertebrae at a time. Pause, adjusting to standing again for a breath, adjusting as needed. Prepare to move again. Inhale, lift your hands, maybe look at the sky. Palms can touch as you dive forward, hinging at your hips, taking the support you need, resting your torso on your lap. Let your head be heavy, nodding yes. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins, long, flat back as best as you're able. And exhale, dive forward, fold. Use your hands like feet, walk them away to the other end of your mat, keeping your hips high in the air for downward facing dog. Shift forward again, coming onto hands and knees. Find your tabletop, setting up with stability again. Inhale, press your right foot long, extending your leg behind you. Exhale, tuck your knee to your chest. Pause there. Inhale, send your leg back again, as though you're going to stamp your foot on the wall behind you. Exhale, tuck your knee to your chest. Hover again. One more time, press your right foot, extending long behind. This time, step forward. Plant your foot somewhere near between your hands, finding a low kneeling lunge. When your foundation feels sturdy, press into your front foot and back shin equally, lifting your hands from the mat, stretching up toward the sky, warrior one. Take a couple breaths here. Squeeze your left glute, supporting the opening of the left hip flexor. Bend both arms, taking opposite elbow and opposite hand, sort of framing your head. And just lean, becoming heavy toward the right. Reach with your left elbow towards 12 o'clock, straight up above you. Take a deep breath in, fanning out your left rib cage, even if just in your imagination. Return to center, release both elbows, dive forward, plant both hands, tuck the toes on your back foot. Press into it until your lowered knee lifts. Press into both hands. Tuck your right foot and send it back. Find a three-legged dog. Getting kind of fancy today. Don't mind my dog barking in the background. Release your foot to the mat for a regular downward facing dog. Nice. Shift forward. Find tabletop again. Other side. Once your foundation is set and stable, press your left heel away behind you, extending your leg long. Tuck your knee to your chest and hover on exhale. Inhale, extend. And exhale, knee to your chest. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Step forward this time. Adjusting as needed. to find your kneeling low lunge. Press into your left foot now and your right shin. Toes are untucked behind you. And stay kneeling on that right knee. Release your hands from the mat, reach high overhead. Warrior one on the other side, but kneeling. Same thing, bend both elbows, take opposite elbow and opposite hand. And as you exhale, lean to the left this time. Growing long from your grounded right knee to your lifted right elbow. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, maybe blowing it out your mouth like you're blowing out a candle. Inhale, reach up high and center one more time. Exhale, dive forward. Plant your hands. Tuck your back toes. Press into your back foot to lift your right knee. Pressing into both hands equally, tuck your left toes and send them high to the sky, three-legged dog. Notice if your tendency is to turn your toes out to the side, kind of opening your hip up. Try to point them instead towards the floor, even if it means you lower your leg a little bit. Lower your foot to meet the right on the mat, and downward facing dog. Come forward, find tabletop one more time. Always one more time. Untuck your toes, take a little step forward with both hands, finding a low plank. Exhale, keep elbows in close, lower all the way to your belly. Inhale, peel your chest and shoulders up. Look at the floor in front of you, baby cobra. Exhale, peel back down. Inhale, lift again, look over your right shoulder. Exhale, peel down. Inhale, same thing, left side. Exhale, down and center. Send your hips toward your heels, take child's pose. Checking in with your breath again. Resting heavily in stillness for as long as you'd like. When you're ready to move, extend your wide handprints long in front of you, lifting your elbows off the mat. Shift forward enough to tuck your toes. Press into hands and feet as though to tear the mat in half beneath your face. Send your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Nice. Now walk your feet to meet your hands this time. Find forward fold at the front of your mat. Nod your head yes. Bend your knees if you feel sensitivity in the backs of your legs. Press into both feet slowly to roll up to standing. Taking in new air as you do so. Keep reaching, lift your hands up high overhead. And as you exhale, settle your hips down as though to sit in a chair. In your chair pose, you have the option to connect your palms and center, taking some leverage out of your shoulders. You can also reach forward in front of you, maybe lifting your palms to face the sky, and send your hips just a little lower, a little farther behind you. Nice. Send your hands toward the floor, send your hips toward the sky. Take a breath in, let it go down. This is your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Find a flat, neutral back as best as you're able today. Exhale, fold, reach towards the floor. Plant both hands, spread your fingers wide. Maybe become so heavy there that your feet start to feel buoyant. Maybe your heels want to peel up off the mat. If you'd like, you can take some little hops there. Make your way back to downward facing dog, sending your feet away from your hands. Inhale to shift forward. Wiggle your feet back as needed to find a plank pose. I like to lower my knees here. Keep your elbows in close, lower to your belly. Once more, chaturanga. Exhale. Untuck your toes. Inhale to lift, find cobra. Exhale to lower. Inhale as you tuck your toes and press straight up to plank, whatever your version of that is today. Let that breath go if you haven't already. And on your next inhale, lift your hips. Step on the gas in both hands, taking weight out of your wrists. Inhale, press your right heel toward the sky, toes still pointed towards the floor, three-legged dog. Step forward, set your feet up for warrior one. So take a little step in with your back foot now, sending your left toes out towards the left, towards maybe 10 o'clock. Press into both feet to release your hands from the mat. Reaching up high with both as though to receive a giant basket from above. This helps open the chest and shoulders. It's not just a pleasant mental picture. Feel however you feel standing tall here in Warrior One. I often feel victorious here. Take one more breath in. Exhale, dive forward, plant both hands, spread your fingers wide. Step back with your left foot, step back with your right, find plank. Inhale, lift your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Let's move right to the other side. Lift your left leg, extending long behind you, pressing your heel toward the sky. Exhale, step forward. Set up for warrior one on the right. Back foot steps in just a tad, and right toes go towards 2 o'clock. Lift your hands, reach up high, keep your left knee bent. Press into your right heel to help steer you forward. Take another complete breath here. And when you're ready, dive forward on the exhale, plant both hands. Step back with your right foot and lift your left for a three-legged dog. Lower your left foot. Shift forward, shoulders come over wrists. Find plank pose, lowering your knees if that's your practice today. Keep lowering all the way to the mat, elbows in close. Untuck your toes. Press into the tops of your feet as you lift all the way up for upward facing dog. Let your knees lift up off the mat as well. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Squeeze your glutes. And lower back down. Tuck your toes. Press up for plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Hold your belly button loose, but see if you can still breathe while you do so. Both are important here. Walk your feet to meet your hands or hop if you'd like. Find a forward fold. Inhale, roll up, stand up. Pause and observe. Imagine pulling fresh air from the bottoms of your feet and drawing it up through your entire body like your legs are straws and sending it out through the crown of your head. Prepare to move again. Inhale, hands lift, maybe look up a little bit. Exhale, sink your hips for chair. Keep breathing. On an exhale, dive forward, take a fold. Inhale, half lift, neutral spine. Exhale, lead with your heart, fold. Plant both hands, let them be heavy. Send your hips, not your hips, send your feet to the back of your mat. Let your hips stay high. Downward facing dog. Shift forward, find your plank. Take a breath in. Exhale to lower. Keep your elbows close, grazing your rib cage. Untuck your feet. Press into your hands and the tops of your feet to lift. Find upward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Press up for plank, any version of it. And lift your hips, find downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right foot. Exhale, knee to your chest, shift forward and hover. Inhale, lift it again, sending it high behind you. Exhale, this time step forward. Step your back foot in, send your left toes out to the side. With your foundation set, press into both feet, lift up high, look at the sun. Receive another breath. Exhale, let it go. Send your hands to meet your front foot, planting them on the mat. Step back with your left foot. Step back with your right foot. Make your plank sturdy. And exhale, lower to the mat, elbows close. Chaturanga. Untuck those toes. Inhale to lift, upward facing dog. Exhale to lower. Tuck your toes. Inhale, press up for plank this time. Send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left foot, extend it long behind. Exhale, shift forward, bring your knee toward your nose and hover. And send it up and back, three-legged dog again. Step forward, setting up, warrior one on the other side. Press into both feet, release your hands. Look towards the sky, receive another breath in. And exhale, dive forward, plant both hands. Step back with your right foot. Step back with your left foot. Lower your knees if you'd like. Lower all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale to lift, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, lower, lay down. Send your hips toward your heels, take a child's pose. Stack both hands, palms down, rest your forehead. Reach both arms long in front, spread your hands wide, fingers wide. Notice the texture of the mat. Come onto your elbows and walk them forward just a little more so your hips are sort of up in the air. Now glue your elbows down to the mat. Let your forearms be like railroad tracks, handprints still wide and glued to the mat. Take a little baby step back with your knees and imagine taking a downward facing dog, but let your elbows and your knees be where your hands and your feet would. So your hips and your chest are all much closer to the ground. This might feel strange to have your booty up in the air. That's okay. Sometimes things feel strange. Try it anyway. Take a nice breath in. You might feel some stretch in your shoulders, especially after playing with vinyasas and downward facing dog poses and these sun salutation sequences. Nice. When you're ready, shift forward, bringing shoulders over elbows again. Come up onto hands and knees. Find tabletop again. Tuck your toes, press into hands and feet, lift your hips. Take a real downward facing dog this time. When you're ready, walk your feet to meet your hands. Find a fold. Press into both feet. Inhale, roll up to standing. Observe and adjust, pausing between cycles. Maybe deciding if this last cycle will be full of softness or effort. Doesn't matter what came before, decide what you need right now. And you can also change your mind mid-cycle. Always evaluate, always adjust. Inhale, reach up high, look at the sky. Fill up fully. Let your palms connect and center as you slice the air, diving forward. Reach towards imaginary green grass between your toes, at your feet. Inhale, shake your head yes. Exhale, press into both feet, roll up to standing. Keep reaching, hands up high. On your next exhale, sink your hips low, take chair pose. Maybe connect your hands at heart center with elbows wide. Dive forward again. Send your heart towards the floor, send your hips towards the sky. Rest your belly on your lap if that feels good. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Press the back of your neck towards the ceiling, let it be long. Exhale, pour your belly into your lap. Find a fold, knees bent as much as needed. Plant both hands, fingers spread wide. Step your feet back, take downward facing dog. Full breath here. Inhale, press your right heel towards the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, step forward. Bring your back foot in, send your toes to the side as much as is helpful. Inhale, lift, find warrior one. Look at the sun. Receive a full breath here. Let it go here. Breathe in again. Dive forward again. Plant your hands. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back for plank. Lower to the mat, elbows close. Untuck your toes, press up for upward facing dog. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, press up for plank. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale, lift your hips. Inhale, lift your left foot. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, set up your foundation. When you're ready, rise up, look up. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in again. Dive forward again. Plant both hands, right foot steps back. Step your left foot back. Find your plank. Lower chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale to lift, upward facing dog. Exhale to lower. Tuck your toes, press up to plank. Send your hips to the sky. With authenticity, find your way with your feet to the top of your mat to meet your hands. Make it yours. Woo. Rise up to stand. Take a deep breath in. Make a T with both arms out wide. Bring your palms together in center. Cross your right arm over your left. Keep wrapping. Bring both hands to shoulder blades on your back. Give yourself a pat. Give yourself a squeeze. Nice self hug. Good job today. See you tomorrow.